going to call this meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first order of business, April 1st meeting minutes. Did everyone have a chance to review? And if anyone have any changes? Oh, yeah. Is Neil on?
He looks like he's in there. He's signing in right now.
Can you hear us, Neil?
He's muted and his camera's not working.
Robert, should we make a motion just in case he pops on?
Yeah, that'll be fine, since he can't vote for himself.
I can have a motion to allow Neil to participate via remote.
I'll make a motion.
Any second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
See no objection? Neil can participate. All right, back to approval of the minutes. April 1st, everyone had a chance to review. Any questions on changes? If not, I have a motion to approve those agenda minutes or those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So, approved. All right, we have a short agenda today. Very important agenda item A. Conduct a public hearing for naming of town assets. We're going to talk about Island Park in South Harbor Island.
Chairman Foreman, members of the planning board, this is an application that we received from Mr. James A. Cobb and an outpouring of Harbor Island residents to rename Island Drive Park to the Durwood Sykes Sunset Park located on Harbor Island. According to New Hanover GIS, the Island Drive Park located at 30 Island Drive has approximately 11,326 square feet and has a public access stair that leads to the sound. Mr. Durwood Sykes has solely cared for this park for the past 25 years, mowing, watering, weeding, taking care of the plants. At the May 1st, 2025 Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee meeting, the committee considered renaming the Island Drive Park to the Durwood Sykes Sunset Park. After the discussion, the committee unanimously recommended renaming the park to the Durwood Sykes Sunset Park. Staff recommendation is to consider this request for renaming of the park. In your packet is included the application, the policy guidelines for naming town assets, and letters of support from the Parks and Recreation Advisory and the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee minutes. I also have two more letters that came in today that Tony forwarded to me. One from, I did not make additional copies of this, but they're short to the point. One is from Barb and Colin Eagles, I believe. They may have emailed each of you as well, because your email address is on the website. So I won't read that to you since you've all received that one. It's a letter of support, obviously. And then another one came in from Nina Brown. Did you guys receive that? This one says, I've lived in South Harbor Island at 113 Cypress Avenue for 22 years across the street from Durwood Sykes. He was the mayor of our neighborhood. He looked out for all of us and took pride in keeping our landscaping beautiful, especially Island Park Drive, or Island Drive Park, or as we call it, Sunset Park. He would mow and plant and weed. He would make sure there were always flags flying for patriotic holidays. His passing is beyond sorrowful. The town has an opportunity to recognize and celebrate his efforts to care about the neighborhood, especially the park, more than anyone I've ever met here. Please let us honor him by changing the name to the park in his memory. It would mean so much to us all. Many thanks, Nina Brown. So this went to the advisory committee. Now it's before you. Its last stop is to the board of aldermen. This is a public hearing, so the public will have an opportunity to speak. However, It's not an address change or anything like that. It doesn't affect any other changes, so the department heads don't have any input into the name change as far as logistics are concerned. So staff's recommendation is to forward a favorable recommendation to the board of aldermen to change the park. And that's all I have for you. Do you have any questions for me?
Any questions, Robert? No. We will open it up to public comment, and I assume that everyone is here in support. Right. Yes.
Yes.
What I'd like to do is maybe have each one stand up, because honestly, this, with the meeting that we've had, this is probably the most people we've had to speak. So I just want everyone to have the opportunity to put their name on the record to show that they're here to support. So if y'all can stand up, maybe if y'all want, stand up one by one, say your name.
I'll be first. I'm Wileen McDonald, fully in support of this park. Y'all knew him. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you want to give her address, or does that matter?
Doesn't matter, we just.
You just want to know.
It's fine. Since this is a public hearing, and it's not necessarily quasi-judicial or legislative, then I'm not sure that the address is needed, because anybody can speak in favor or against it.
I'm Sheila McHouston, and I've been here for 54 years, and Durwood was my neighbor for 46. And he took care of everybody's yard if no one mowed it and they weren't home to mow it.
Sveta Lon, and we live one house away from Durwood, and know him from day one for 27 years. He taught my son how to lawn mow. And so
There's a reason behind that.
Huh?
There was a reason behind that.
Right, and my son graduated from Durwood University of Longcat, and so he's doing right now very well. So
Good.
Yes, in Durwood for sure.
My name is Ted O'Quinn, and I've known Darwood for 35 years. And thank you all for presenting a chance for us to honor him. Completely concur.
My name is Andy Cobb, and I also would like to see this change. And I gotta say, the application had 25 years. I think we came up with closer to 40 years that Durwood's been taking care of Harbor Island. And when we would travel, he was the biggest advocate of Riceville Beach. And I used to tell him, be quiet, we're gonna have everybody here, be careful, but he was selling Harbor Island and the beach his whole life.
I'm Maggie Arnold, and Durwood just helped create our sense of community that we have on Harbor Island, and I think we really great job. Thank you.
Francine Strike, also a member of South Harbor Island, and I support the change in memory of Durwood Heights.
Brian Keenan, his dedication, I'd see him out there at the park with spade in his hand, drinking together. He's actually digging up all the sand spurs that were in the parks. At one time, we couldn't use it. And that's just, his dedication to that park.
Alan Murphy Jr., first house I ever purchased in 2001 was next door to Durwood. I didn't know what I was getting. Well, what a blessing it was for 30 years to go next door ever. So it could be a better thing. His name got Durwood. Alan Ripley, obviously met Durwood actually a little before Son Alan did. Bought that house. Known him a long time. He's just as fine a guy as there ever was. Old buddy Adam up there, of course, he was a witness for a bunch of years. It's a great, appreciate it.
Kelly Fitzpatrick, Durwood earned it. Also just give it to him.
Nipsey G, backdoor neighbor for 28 years. I've heard him sing a lot, but Durwood has just stepped up and done so much for us, for the community. My neighbor, who passed away a few years ago, lived there since the 50s, and he was her caretaker to some degree as she aged. Through her process of having to leave after 2 hurricanes, the group of the hurricane victims became family. I heard from Sheila recently. So just saying, it wasn't even just a community, it was an individual thing, he's affected so many lives. We're gonna miss him.
I like that. I'm June Thumb. I'm also live in South Harbor Island, and fully support, with Durwood. I mean, I still can't drive by the park without expecting to see him out there mowing his lawn or sitting there watching the sunset go down, and he's gonna go home and eat his salad. Always, but thank you. Thank you.
I think that'll conclude the public comment. Questions, comments?
I mean, I'll make a comment. I've lived on the street with Durwood for 13 years, and now my wife and I have 3 children live across the street from him. And I'm sure Alan can attest to the amount of candy that we got after Halloween that he would bring over to the house. And I fully support it because he's near and dear to our family, and he did a lot for our kids. And I'll never forget, we rented a little house at 108 Cypress. We didn't have a lawnmower at the time, so I walked down to his house. I knew he had one. I said, "Durwood, can I borrow that lawnmower?" He said, "You know how many weeds you got in your yard down here? You can buy a lawnmower. You can bring all your weeds down here to my yard. Go buy your own lawnmower." I said. So me and Michael Brosco split a lawnmower because both of us could have one. So, but I'll never forget that. But yeah, I fully support it as well, and we definitely do this.
Well, I don't think there was anybody that had a dock on this beach that didn't deal with Durwood at some point or another. I've known him for 25 years, he's a great guy. To me, this is, I'm not going to speak for the board by any, but this is an automatic.
I was his neighbor for 20-something years along South Harbor, and I concur with everything that's been said today and strongly support making the change.
I think it's wonderful there's a spot he can be honored.
And I lived in South Harbor too, and I just remember him pushing his lawnmower up the street, going to mow the lawn, and it didn't matter how hot it was out. It was,
I wish I
amazing
knew
just to
so
see
good
it.
I didn't fight him over. Across the other side.
And I'll tell you, Neil said that his microphone is not working, but he supports the naming as well. So I don't know if you can hear us, Neil, but I can get your text.
I do have a question for everyone. What are we gonna do about the sign? We need a new sign.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the next step in the process. We'll,
the alderman might ask about it. I'd like to throw my name in the hat if they're gonna raise money. I'd be happy to donate towards the sign.
Do y'all
We talked about that.
interested in designing it?
We don't at this point, but we will.
Okay.
How big can we
We
go?
do, we do. We do.
So I think the process will be, if we get a favorable recommendation from the planning board, which.
Right. By the time we go to the board, have a.
The alderman will be considering this in July, is my understanding.
I would feel like we sort of stay with the design of all the town signs, aren't they all pretty much the same as they are? And we would just change the name, which I think we're pretty much in agreement on. And then as far as, funds, we could appeal to our neighborhood community, of course, to donate. We could appeal to the Harbor Island Garden Club to help us. And if the town wanted to chip in, glory to heaven, and if not, we figure it out because it's important.
Well, it seems like to me that sign, you're talking the rights of each sign, and then y'all have your other, just 2 signs there. It would seem like to me that rights of each sign may be just a matter of changing the letters.
Yes.
And that,
Exactly.
anybody can write a check.
Yeah, my understanding from the Parks and Rec meeting is the town would be responsible for the cost of the sign.
Yeah.
This is a town.
But then the other one, though, there's a white one.
What does that say?
Yeah, is that, I don't have my glasses.
That's
I
Harbor
can't-
Island Garden. And it just.
Okay. I couldn't see
It's
that.
the Island Park sign that would change the
Okay.
Durwood site.
And that would make that seem matter of the lettering.
Yeah, I don't think you need to just use that sign. That's right.
I don't think
Same
that's a
format,
big deal.
same. Yeah.
Anyone else? So I guess we can decide if we want to forward a favorable recommendation to the Board of Aldermen. So if someone wants to make a motion.
I make a motion that we send a favorable recommendation to the Board of Aldermen to
Second.
change the name.
All in favor?
Aye.
It is unanimous, including you as well. So we got,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you for coming. Do we have any old business? Anyone else, any board members have anything? Robert, you have anything?
I
I'm gonna try my best to get this lighting ordinance to you in July.
So that'll be
So we're on
July,
board.
what, fifth, sixth,
Seventh.
seventh, the seventh or eighth? Maybe the eighth.
Fourth is like
Fourth is a Friday. Fourth is a Friday, fifth, sixth, seventh, yeah, July eighth.
Yeah,
Well,
so,
first, yeah,
oh, the first Tuesday would be the
the
first.
first,
The first.
Yeah, July 1st.
the 8th is the second Tuesday.
I'm all about moving it though.
Yeah, let's do if we can, let's do an extra week maybe to the eighth.
Well, the thing is, that, like, I'll be out of town that for the week, because everybody, that weekend is decided I'm gonna be, I don't know if I'll be back.
Okay, well-
The first is the Tuesday, the 4th is not till Friday.
Right.
So you're saying
A lot of people take that week.
Normal vacation week for a lot of people.
the first week, you say
Yeah,
most
first
of the
week
week
in
after.
July. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it
Robert,
out.
I'll talk to you.
Yeah, I mean, for your rules of order, you can cancel it and then decide to reschedule it via email, and then we'll just advertise it for you on the website. And since it will be a legislative public hearing, it has to be advertised in the newspaper anyway. And now that we've got a new communications person, then we're all set.
Anything else?
So what did you do? Cancel?
First,
or you just gonna talk about it
I will email Robert tomorrow.
We'll
And
coordinate.
then we'll figure out a time, and then I'll send everything, get everyone's opinion about a good day. Maybe we'll cancel that first, and then come up with another Tuesday, either that next Tuesday or the next Tuesday. And then do that.
I have one question about Norwood State. In the other meeting, they talked about that somebody needs, from the family needs to weigh in and accept that they approve us moving. You know anything about that?
For the Sykes family?
Yes.
Yes, I spoke to all three sisters today. They were trying to be here for different reasons.
So that's not any, yeah.
It's not, they are so happy.
So maybe in July at
The Board of Aldermen, yes, one of them.
That's where they would need to
To be here, yes.
to speak in support or at
Yeah.
least write a letter.
Okay.
Because everything to that point is advisory.
Yeah.
The decision is made at that meeting.
Okay. So one of them will be here, they'll write a letter.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?